Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Michelle. If you're new here, I am a full-time reseller, and today I'm going to go through some of the trends that I'm looking for right now while I'm sourcing, and also for myself. And yeah, most of these are just projected trends. They're not actually trends that, you know, are necessarily seen on the street yet, but there are some good, I have some good examples of things that you could start to incorporate into your own wardrobe, or if you also are a reseller, that you can start to pick up. And a lot of these trends are things that I'm sure you've seen before because fashion is cyclical. The first trend is bralettes, or bras as a top. So I've got these two pieces. This is from Victoria's Secret, and this is something that I've got in my Poshmark closet. This is the back. I'll show like a screenshot of how the bras as a top look was shown on the runway during Fashion Week last year for spring of 2020, and a couple of examples of maybe where you could see higher end brands or mid-range brands selling similar styles. But I found this at a thrift store at the Goodwill, and so I think this is something that's super accessible. Lots of brands already do this, and so I think it's a great start off point. This is another one. This is by Free People, and I think this is another good example of like the way that this trend will play out. And the way that you would like sort of style this would be with, you know, high-rise trousers or pants. Apparently low-rise is coming back, and I'm not here for it. Not here for it. My body is not here for it. The second trend is not your grandmother's crochet, but a good example of this would be, this is another one that I've got. This is by One State, and so it's just like a top, but a lot of the ways that this is being styled, or the way that it was shown initially, is sort of as like, rather than having a crochet cardigan or like sort of I want to say, the word frumpy keeps coming to mind, but like doing sort of a little bit of a revealing midi dress or like a tiered crochet midi dress. And I'll show some good examples that I saw earlier on Revolve. This is another sort of crochet top, and this is a Parisian company called Yours, but it's got sort of a retro look to it, and so this is one way that could play out. Trend number 3 is more suiting. Blazers, trousers, that sort of thing. And vests, which is, I guess, trend number 4. Those are all things, other than the vests, things that we've seen from the years prior, or 2018 and 2019 both had like the oversized blazer look, the high-rise trouser that's like, you know. I've got a good example of that here. And these are just a pair of Jones New York vintage pants. They're high rise, and they're like in a really subtle window pane print. I'm not sure if you can see that. That sort of high rise oversize, and the oversized blazers, that's a look. And you can always, of course, pair that with maybe like the bralette, something like that. But I think that's something that is a trend I'm very much here for. And I think it's, for the most part, I feel like it's here to stay, just considering that we saw this last year and it's back again. But vests, on the other hand, I don't have an exact example that I can show right now because I'm not 100% here for it, but who knows, maybe at the end of the year that'll change. Vests are definitely something that you can find in the thrift store. So not so much, I don't think like denim vests, but more like a suiting vest, like menswear as women's wear, that sort of thing. And so that sort of androgynous, more unisex look is definitely something that we're seeing more of. The next trend is polka dots. And I have a couple of examples of these polka dots, but they're mostly just like very tiny polka dots that I have. But the way I've been seeing people wear polka dots, let me see if I can find a good picture. Okay, so I have a couple pictures here from fashionista.com, and they're like slightly larger polka dots. It's not like the really teeny tiny polka dot print that you would think of. I'm thinking more like big bold polka dots. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I'm gonna put a picture here and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a trend I love and I'm very much here for. One year it's stripes, the next year it's polka dots. And so I'm really here for the polka dots. I'm into it. Next trend are things that I'm not very excited about. I mentioned earlier that low-rise pants are coming back and I'm not super excited about that. Like, I think it looks really good on like, you know, models, but myself, I don't know. I'm a 90s baby and I remember low-rise pants and it's just not exciting to me. Like, that's not something that I'm interested in wearing because like the fupa is gonna be out in the wild and I'm just not interested in that. But I'm rambling on. The trend that I'm talking about, the other one that I'm not so excited about, are like hot pants but shorts. So like really tiny shorts, like mini shorts are coming back and I don't love that. I just don't. So I guess you could say one of the overall trends is more skin this year. I'll put a couple pictures of this trend over here and what that looked like on the runway, but it's, you know, I'm more of a longer shorts kind of girl, maybe like a dress girl. These are like tight fitted, you know, like air on your butt kind of shorts. And I don't know. I only think that this trend works for so many people. In terms of sourcing, I'm definitely still going to be picking up like high rise denim for sure, and maybe I'll do like denim cutoffs or something like that, but the trend specifically is sort of talking more about like knitwear. So I think like high rise shorts that are like a knit material, some kind of a knit, or maybe like crochet short shorts would be good for like the beach maybe. I don't know, but we'll see how that works. The next trend is ruffles or tiers, and the way that I'm seeing this come about is really pretty and I'm very much loving it. I think you could really combine a few different trends here, and I'll show a few examples that I saw earlier of like crocheted midi dresses that had different tiers to them, or the ruffle trend, sort of like having a ruffle collar that goes across the neckline. But I think that can be really pretty, very feminine, and I think that can be taken in a lot of directions. So I will pop up a picture of a tiered bubble dress that I've got and how that sort of would look on the regular person. Okay, so the next trend that I'm going to talk about is the dagger collar, and I very much love this very retro style. This is a vintage top, and mixed with the dagger collar is also 60s like wallpaper prints, or like, you know, it could be floral, but it could also be something like this, where it's like a stripe, very warm tones, very retro. I think this is something that you can very easily find at a thrift store or at any kind of a vintage shop. You can definitely find like these. This is also vintage. This one's, I think this is a size 16 or something like that. But yeah, I think this is another great way to do the retro print. That's something I'm super here for. I love vintage, and so the idea of having like, you know, that like 60s wallpaper print everywhere is very exciting to me, but that's just because that's where my heart lives. Anyway, I think that's a trend that I can definitely see being taken in a few different directions, and I'll put a few pictures of maybe some dagger collars and some of that like wallpaper print in real life. So the leather trend is the next one, and I think it was Harpers Bazaar that I'm looking at, that they call it spring leather. It's basically just leathers in lots of really pretty colors, and like maybe painted leather or printed leather, and I think that can be taken in a few different directions. I don't know how great it'll be for the summer, because obviously like wearing leather in the summer, you're gonna be so hot, but maybe wearing like a leather mini skirt with like the bralette top and, you know, like a light jacket or something, like that's something that I think is very everyday that people can wear. So like I mentioned earlier, all of these trends are just forecasted, so they haven't really made their way down to like street style looks, I would say, just yet, or at least I don't know too many people who have worn all of these trends this year quite yet, but I do see that when people are shopping for trends, they often go to the secondhand market first, you know, like they're dipping their toe in the water just to see if they're gonna like it. So I think this is a great way for, you know, for people to get started in a trend, is to find it at the thrift shop or to find it on Poshmark or on Depop or something like that. Obviously because I sell there, but also just because I think that's like a very economical way to get started on shopping a certain trend. And I'm really curious to know what maybe your favorites are, what trends you are into or not so into. There are a couple that I didn't mention here, so if there are any that you know about, leave them in the comments down below. Also, definitely let me know if there are any trends that you are really not here for this year. I'm definitely not going to be going for the low-rise pants or probably like the hot pant shorts. Not into it. But, you know, never say never, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below and ring the bell for notifications so you can see me in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!